Everyone, welcome back to Play Casket and another episode of Your Turn. And this week it's been pretty dead. It's been pretty dead. There's not been any real news at all.
Everybody's been wrapping up for next year, so
yeah, basically. So thank you for listening. Anyway, but basically we're gonna go ahead and just take this this lull of news and kind of just more recommend you guys games, because I know a lot of y'all are gonna get a Christmas bonus, a Christmas gift of money, or just anything in general. Like maybe you worked a bunch of overtime or something like that and you got some extra money from that.
Time to spend those gift cards.
And you got those gift cards and stuff too. And basically you guys want to buy some video games. Well, you came to the right place, because we've bought some video games this past year. So basically we're going to talk about this past year of games we bought. So it could be older games, you know. We could be the tail end and just bought an older game.
Yeah, just something you've been holding off on buying, and then you decide to pick it up.
Yeah, that's basically what happened here for us for a couple situations. But there's also other games out there. Since I'm huge into indie, I'd like to recommend some stuff there too. But let's go ahead and start with you. Was there a game that was above and beyond? Like the most iconic thing for you to play this year?
Yeah, Nightmare of Decay, and I started off with a demo. There's a free demo too, so go download it. It's basically first-person Resident Evil 1, I guess. It's really cool, and I was skeptical at first, but when I really played it captures the silliness. It's self-aware too, which is really nice.
I know I'm being what I'm being, but there's a whole reason, because they're not being what they're being and needing to be.
Yeah, so I think it does Resident Evil better than what Capcom can do, and it's such a good game, because I picked it up during Halloween as well too, because I can't remember what I was looking for, but it just kind of popped up in the feed, and everybody says, "Oh, go play Nightmare of Decay." Downloaded the demo, and it blew me away. It's one of the very few games that I actually sat down and binged it. So
nice.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's Resident Evil, but first person. I don't know what else to tell you. Go play it. It's as good as you expect it to be.
So is there anything that's unique in this experience other than it being in first person? Is there something that, like, if a player goes in there and expecting Resident Evil like 1-to-1, but just in first person, is there something that you need to warn them about, or are they gonna get exactly that?
I mean, it's not 100%, but at the same time, like, it has its own twist on it. Try the demo. I don't know how else to explain it, but okay. It's done really well. You'll if you're a Resident Evil, like a classic Resident Evil fan, I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start with one I just recently had, and you'll probably see it in the last video. We did a stream with me playing it. It is called Lunistis, or Lunistis. I don't know how they pronounce it, but basically it's kind of like a raccoon tanuki character, furry character and stuff. Developed by a small little team. I think it's only like 2 people, with a couple outside sources for like narrating and some music and stuff like that. That's what I'm understanding it.
Yeah.
Right? But I would recommend people trying it out. If you guys want one of those old time like vibes of like PlayStation era 3D platformers, and I'm not talking about ones that like you travel, kind of like Mario 64, where you travel to like a hub world and stuff. There's no hub world here. There's levels, and you kind of just go through those levels. It's a short game, and it's like only $7 full priced.
Okay.
I got more time out of that than like, you know, a meal at McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
Which DoorDash does not approve trying to deliver to mausoleums, so you know that stuff kind of sucks. But yeah, it plays very smooth. It has that like crunchy looking pixel graphics, because it's like 3D. It's kind of like how
PS1 and 64 style type of.
Yeah, the 64 kind of has another like a weird fuzzier look, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like I don't know how to describe it, but 64 games kind of have more of a fuzzier look. There's a company I think called Sayako Entertainment or something like that. It's a solo developer. He makes Macbeth 64 and Super Kiwi 64, which was our recent release. And if you put the two together, you kind of see the difference. Like there's a crunchy there's a fuzziness, a blurriness of some kind in a 64 game, or what would be inspired from a 64 game, whereas like it's hard edged and only I say crunchy because it just looks crunchy. Like if you take the character and you just squeeze her head, she's gonna just like devolve into just a bunch of 3D pixels, and it's just gonna make that crunchy noise that you hear from like one of those like weird Stretch Armstrong toys when you just crunch it, you know. And that's the way I say it, but it plays smooth. It's very reactive. The sound files and stuff like that, like it feels satisfying to collect everything. The levels are just short enough that like for people who are older and they're like, man, I do not have time to divulge into an RPG or whatever. They're just like, I just want to play something. Dude, it's $7 and I was able to get like 3 days out of just casual play with it.
Yeah.
And it was great. Like I was able to S rank everything and I actually enjoyed everything. Like it was
looks
actually
like
really
they
good.
do Sonic right, I think. Or at least it feels like.
It feels like a slower paced Sonic because there's still like there's some weird controls in Sonic that just it seems like they always do that same problem every time they make a new Sonic game.
Oh, okay.
Even in Frontiers, there's like this weird like poppy jump that just like kind of floats after like you just jump. It's like you just shoot off in the air and then you just kind of float there for a bit.
Okay.
I don't know. Like it feels a little off, but I don't know what's going on with that. But there's enough mechanics that you could probably see, like you can see some overlap.
Yeah.
Right. Like you can kind of make that. You can kind of make that that comparison. But I think it would far more be right to compare it to a Crash Bandicoot, but not as punishing.
Okay.
Because all of its levels are more in a tunnel. And there's no real like super obstacles like Sonic goes through and stuff. You know, like giant loop-de-loops and lane changing and all that nonsense.
But you must get to the end fast. Right.
There's timing, but yeah, no, that game's actually pretty good. And literally, like I think they're going on sale. Literally, we are recording this right now on Christmas night, so we're gonna have some like Christmas music kind of lightly playing in the background of some video game or something like that. And we're gonna just make it sound like this is all a soothing situation, even though it's a dank-ass mausoleum we're recording this in. But for the most part, like it's, I don't know. It's a solid game.
Okay.
So, I would recommend that. Is there other recommendations you have?
Synthetic that I picked up, or Synthetic Ultimate. It's a twin stick shooter. And it's really brutal. I keep forgetting to dodge. But you play as a robot killing other robots. And it's a roguelite. So you pick up weapons and guns. So far I'm only like playing the tank. But there's other classes you can choose from.
Boo. No. we actually enjoy tanks. We enjoy tanks and healers because they're the only ones that people don't like to do. Like that's why I'm a tank all the time. Almost in paladins and stuff too.
But it's brutally hard. I can't quite get up to where I'm at, but the bosses kind of cycle in the same order, I guess. So you, at the very least, if you get a bad roll on the stages, you know what to expect coming along whatever bosses that will be coming up. Or you could just get screwed and get like the shittiest weapon ever. But yeah, that'll be a dud run. But yeah, it's you can customize the multiplier too by how much experience you earn, and then you could like level up that way, or you can make it harder. Like you can make it harder or easier on yourself, but you earn less experience. And then like if you're lucky, you can pick up the really good guns that you find along the way. But it's a really good game. I was surprised too, and then like how the guns feel, how the guns handle, the sound effects, and the reloading. Oh, and I wish more games did this too, which is if you reload, you dump that clip, which is, I kind of wish that, because whenever like any kind of shooting games, when you reload,
you just use what's left of the ammo and you just reload it back in.
Yeah, so eventually like you're pulling out each individual bullet and you're putting it back into the magazine, which is unrealistic. Rather than like you cycle out the magazine. And
no,
then,
I think a couple of people. The reason why like that's more popular is because it's less micromanagement.
yeah,
You know, like if there's games that do require you to be far more survivalistic, I think a full clip, a full clip
a magazine
waste
dump.
and stuff,
Yeah.
magazine dump would should be punished.
Yeah,
But there's games like you've done Call of Duty.
you shoot one
Paladins,
bullet. Yeah,
stuff like that. Like just issue like you shoot one bullet and you reload because you might need that last bullet and you just not waste a clip at all.
yeah,
That's just the way those games work because that's just you're the focus is more on the action itself than the micromanagement of yourself.
yeah.
So there's a place for stuff like that.
Unrealistic. Great. What about you?
Says the man who likes waifus and big titties. They need to crush my head.
Yes.
See, unrealistic. But I wouldn't say this is me purchasing a game, but I legitimately after a very long stint, I actually returned to Warframe, and I just instead of like. I didn't get to copy my account over from the PC to the Switch, so I decided to just start from scratch again on the Switch, just to see, how hard it really is without anybody really assisting or anything. Because I had a bunch of friends who were really huge into it when I first started it, and I just got taken through everything. Everything was like instant destruction, and then finally got to the end where you just grind stuff out, and that's basically what it is, right? And I went back and I decided to start from scratch with literally nobody. Nobody's playing it anymore as far as my friends. A lot of people are playing it though.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who think oh, is it dying? No, it's still playing more than MapleStory, and I just saw more ads for MapleStory 2 days ago. It was the weirdest thing. I'm like, are we in 2003 right now? Because I feel like I'm in 2003 right now.
Maybe it made a resurgence.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. We might have to do a deep dive on that. That'd be hilarious. But no, I went to Warframe, and even without spending a single dime, that game gives you too much.
Yeah.
That game is great. A great experience. You want to grind up some more and get some more powerful? Okay, here you go. Takes a little bit, but it's just great. I really enjoy that, and I've been playing hours of it actually on the Switch, and it plays pretty smoothly on the Switch. It does not look the best, but it looks and it loads better, and it has far more graphics that they pop in and stuff.
Yeah.
Way more often and a lot more efficiently than Paladins. And I played Paladins on Switch quite a bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes into Play-Doh mode, and you don't see any fixtures or faces and textures and stuff like that. And that's just the way it is. And yeah, no, I've been playing Warframe, and it's getting pretty big, dude. I stopped playing before they did they call it the Plains of Edolan or something like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
If you actually get into a good group of people that are just grinding out some stuff for that area, dude, it's a blast.
Yeah.
So
I haven't touched it yet because it's been a while since I've forgotten, and everybody's all experts, so I don't want to drag anybody down.
Nope. I'm playing I'm cross-eyed levels of stupid, and these guys are just kind of shrugging it off whatever, and just kind of plow through stuff. Granted, I'm probably not they're not demanding some kind of power with me. So I'm not holding up. I'm not expected to hold up my end of responsibility because there isn't anything. There's you're just a new target, so they stop targeting me.
Okay.
That's basically how I feel right now. But
it is nice for people to carry though.
Yeah, it's good, and I plan on doing some carrying if I get that powerful, and I'm still playing the game. And that's something. And I know this is a free-to-play game. What do you mean? I don't have to spend money on that. Why would you ask me to suggest a game for me to spend money on? I don't know. Prime Warframes are fun.
Buy platinum. Buy lots of platinum.
Support the indie
Indies.
developer of Digital Eclipse or whatever they're called. Digital Extremes. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get chewed out for that. But no, it's a fun game. Yeah, and that one's a good one. But has there been some disappointments for you this year?
I would say The Ascent that came out, because I think I bought it when it was on sale. It looked really good. It's basically a twin stick shooter. I love my twin stick shooters, I know, but it's good, but it's not great, I guess, because like the carrot is dangling at the end of the stick, but you could almost grab it, but at the same time, you're like, do I want a carrot? Like, there's carrot cake elsewhere. Do I really want this carrot? You know what I mean? Like, it's not bad. It's good, but it doesn't have that weapon drop that you really want that like Diablo has, or like the weapons don't drop like crazy to where you're like looting the shit out of everything. So you get a weapon that you like and you just kind of stick with it until you're strong enough to upgrade to the next one, and it doesn't push you enough to like play. Yeah. So that's where it kind of falls short. So it's not terrible, but at the same time, like I just got really burnt out. And I'm like, to be able to unlock the next weapon, I don't think the play is kind of worth it, I guess.
Right. Well, this one's gonna come out of left field, kind of, maybe. Mario Strikers Battle League. Yeah. So I love Mario Strikers. Okay, and the base game of Mario Strikers Battle League is by no means skimpy. Okay, it's meaty enough that you can actually get quite a bit of fun out of it. What feels very tacked on is that you don't really unlock much of anything. Like, you play stuff, you unlock some cups, you unlock some access to some gear and some points and stuff like that. That's it. But there's no like secret characters. Like I've been playing. There's not even like one or two. I was half expecting like one or two secret characters, but no. Like, even day one they released a free update like the first week in the game's release that gave you 2 extra characters, which was for free. So people are like, oh, I'm not gonna complain. I may as well just have those characters. So I'm like, yeah. Why couldn't? I was like, it was only a couple weeks out. Why couldn't this been the secret characters?
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't these ones be added? And like Diddy Kong, it was like Diddy Kong and Pauline, I believe.
Okay.
I was like, those would have been easy secret unlockable characters. You don't need all of them to be that way, but like those ones at that time, it would have been right.
Damn.
And it's just, the game is fun. So on the record, I did enjoy playing it. It is a lot more funner when you have friends playing with you. But for the most part, and there's a ranking system. There's a ranked gameplay mechanic in there, which is wild. I didn't know that. That was crazy, and I'm scared to even try it. But for the most part, like I don't know. Like, I feel like there was more that they could have done, like, easily, and not even take that much of a problem to add to it.
Okay.
And yeah, it didn't have it. It didn't even like, oh, they struggled. You could see some kind of points when it was just a problem that like, oh yeah, we were on a crunch and we couldn't put together and blah blah blah, right? No, it just didn't have it.
Okay.
Like, period. It was just like, no, we were done. We just added these characters later because we thought so. I'm like, but wouldn't have that just made more sense to just add just the 2 unlockable characters? Like, I'm not even like asking for a lot, Like, it just felt like it would have been cool to be like, oh, who are these secret characters, and just be revealed.
Pirates, I guess, like, to keep people from pirating. That is kind of weird.
No, that wouldn't make any sense, because then they would just pirate that game and then pirate the DLC.
Yeah,
like that makes no sense at all, because that's all going through a digital channel anyway, and if it's digital content, that's just more of a reason to do it. So, but I don't know. Like, it was just
Nintendo always does the weird shit.
Yeah, and they did it before with Mario Tennis, but like for Mario Tennis, for some reason it felt like there was enough there that I was like, okay, a lot of this is meaningless for the most part. Like there was enough characters, enough selection, enough of everything else that like I didn't feel as much as like there was clearly an intention for more, but they just decided to actively choose not to do it.
Yeah.
Like there was enough. They're like, oh, we just got to this point and we just had to wrap up.
Gotcha.
You know, but Mario Strikers of all games to have that. Like I was so pumped to play it. It was looking so good. I like the whole mechanic that you got to choose a stage and your opponent chooses a stage and they just smash the two stages together, so there's like two halves of a stage.
Oh wow.
Like I liked a lot of the stuff they did add. Like you can even customize your character with the certain gears to allow you to play a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Like a little bit faster Bowser or a little bit more sneaky Donkey Kong, not King Kong. Donkey Kong. So it makes some stuff kind of a lot better.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was just, I don't know, it just felt like they're like, no, we're done. We just sat on this for an hour.
Oh, okay.
You know? And as a segue to that, the other disappointing thing is Nintendo still has not released Advance Wars Reboot.
Yeah.
There's no other description. There's no any elaboration. They just haven't released it at all.
I have a feeling it'll probably come out in March, hopefully.
I hope, dude.
For 2023? Yeah.
Yeah, and like it was funny because they did some kind of interview of what Way Forward is going to do in the future, and they're like, oh, they didn't mention anything about Advance Wars. This looks really bad for the game. I'm like, dude, they got done developing it. They don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah. It's in Nintendo's hands. I don't know why you guys keep blaming Way Forward. They're done. The whole development is done. They didn't just sit and develop more of the game while Nintendo's sitting on it. That's not what they do.
Okay.
You know, like people keep thinking, oh, it's going to have more content now. I'm like, no, it's not. They already said it's done. Both Nintendo and Way Forward have both said it's done. It was ready. They just have not even released it.
Gotcha.
Like, disappointing.
Damn.
Absolutely disappointing. So, yes. Is there other ones that you want to mention that are very disappointing?
I mean, I guess one would be Generation Zero that I played. It's basically these robots that take over this island in Sweden, I think.
Damn it, Sweden! You need to protect your shit.
I know this wouldn't happen if it happened in America,
right? You're not Ehan enough.
I mean, it's a good game. It's better if you have friends, because like when I had people to play with, we got pretty far. But at the same time, like you could see where they kind of rushed it because the type of enemies are kind of limited.
Right. And don't you hate that crap?
Yeah.
Like when they're like, you could tell the main focus of a game.
Yeah.
Like is the varied enemies you would may or may not have to face.
Uh-huh.
And it like stops abruptly at like 5 different versions of something, and then it just starts changing the colors or something. Like, wait, hold on a moment, this ain't right.
Yeah,
this is mobile levels of cheesy.
And it's just a dog with a turret. Basically, it's like 99% of the enemies that you fight, and then like some big thing.
Don't shoot him. He's a good boy.
Well, I mean, I did see like some of the bosses too that we ran into.
Yeah,
yeah. But other than that, though, you could see where they kind of rushed it out because it's really good, but you're like, damn, like you guys could have you guys couldn't have quit him on this because there's a lot of potential behind it. So
excellent. Well, I didn't really buy many games that I didn't expect to be disappointed with. You know, like I expected something to be bad, and I got the bad game. I'm like, that wasn't what I expected. So there wasn't anything that really undersold my expectations. But I will say, before I even bought it, I was disappointed with was Chocobo GP.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, I heard about that actually.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude! I don't know what Square Enix was doing. So basically, they took the same DLC data battle pass approach as Crash Nitro Kart, but then they also made the real in-game currency, the real money currency, expire, and then they decided that the free in-game currency that's real money reflective, you know, like sometimes you'll get like a little bit of real money currency and stuff, can't be used on the battle passes. And their price points were just so weird that you would have to overspend to get the real money currency to buy that, but then you have leftover money that can expire. Like, that was out the gate. Like, apparently they patched all that and they were, quote unquote, made it better. But, dude, that is, like, that was so bad that they even announced that they're not going to do any more free updates. Which, honestly, I kind of expected. Because Chocobo's Dungeon and the whole Chocobo, like, subgenre character franchise one doesn't really have many unique characters. So they keep, like, churning out like different costumes for those characters, and they only did like, I think it was Cloud, Squall, and Lightning as like actual characters that you could play. So you could see that they were going to start doing more Final Fantasy based characters, but they never got around to it because obviously they kind of screwed the pooch with the whole like approach that they did.
Well, it's such an easy formula. How do you fuck it up? Like
just by trying to make you basically spend more money after already spending money.
Yeah.
Like, if you buy the game and they're going to do a battle pass type of thing with it after you bought the game, you should be given a coupon that never expires to use on one of those battle passes. Whenever you feel like, wait, this has Halloween stuff. I want this stuff.
Well, what made them think that this was going to be like, oh yeah, people really want this.
Because look how huge Mario Kart is. You know, like look how huge. So they were thinking, if we did this on the Mario Kart platform, we're gonna be able to do cooler stuff because we're Square Enix. We have Final Fantasy, the game that people clamor to have in Smash Brothers the most. We have the stuff. We know what the people want, and they want Cloud, and they want Sephiroth, they want Final Fantasies, they want crystals, they want magic, they want Kingdom Hearts nonsense. We know what they. And then I think it was just more hubris than anything when they're like, "Oh, and that real money you spent expires, so you better spend it real quick."
There's a reason why Overwatch, or not, why Counter-Strike and Team Fortress is beating the shit out of Overwatch and Call of Duty.
Which is weird, because people keep claiming that Overwatch is so good now, even though, like, I don't see anyone that I know has ever played it. And, like, they have not had any interest. In fact, one of my friends, even though he knows all his content's transferred to 2, just because they closed off 1 is like, what happens if they decide to just do it again, but not transfer stuff?
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's now like edgy about it. He's like, I don't think I trust this anymore.
Welcome to the world of digital.
Yep, that's basically service games in a nutshell, right there.
But no, we're crazy.
We're crazy. We don't.
They would never do that.
Independent studio Blizzard would never do that to us. They care about our peoples. So, yeah.
Thanks for your loot boxes, assholes.
Basically, yeah. They abused the crap out of it to a point where they have now just this weird predatory battle pass now. And like, oh, do you want characters? You better use real money because or else you're going to be spending years to unlock someone. It's like, man, you can't even take a page out of Riot and make that more, because now they're like, oh, whoops. And like they even it takes them forever to develop a character. Once they like expel all the like back catalog that they had from developing 2, just like they had with 1, it was like every other month they're like, boom, new character. We're gonna have 4 characters a year. We're gonna have 6 characters a year. We're gonna and everyone's like, yeah, we're gonna be pumped. We're gonna do this, yeah. And then like after that first go around, that first year of just chunking it out, it's like, it took 6 months for this one and 7 months for this one, and then like it's just. Meanwhile, like Paladins, the game that's gonna kill itself because of its own bugs, is like, what if we make an alligator that shoots parrots out of a cannon? Yes.
Well, if you get that many characters, you're gonna end up just like Pokemon, where there's like the top 14 that are good.
That's the same way with anything that's archetype. Like even with like World of Warcraft or MMOs, you'll always have the top builds for whatever class, no matter how flexible you make those builds.
Oh, okay.
Like it's always going to be that way. There's always going to be enough utility and kits and all this other stuff that trounces everyone else. And even then, Pokemon has admitted that they made bad Pokemon intentionally. Not they make them because it makes it basically means it makes the good ones stand out even more.
Oh, okay.
Which is clever and sneaky at the same time. But going all the way back, that's what disappoints me.
Okay.
All right. But is there anything in the immediate future that you're looking forward to, that you got stuff reserved that you are ready to spend on?
What was that one by Bethesda?
No.
Yes, I want it.
That Bethesda game, Starfield.
Starfield, yeah.
Isn't even coming out soon?
I don't know actually.
Then that's not, you save your money for something that doesn't happen.
Well, the thing is, like,
I heard names and I heard logos, so I want.
I saw the gameplay. It looks pretty decent, so
I don't know. I would wait for live gameplay, because they've done that nonsense before.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so like, always, and like, and major companies have been doing this for so long, to a point where, like, even though Nintendo has done better with it, like doing the live treehouses, and you're actually seeing live gameplay of people actually playing it and stuff, some of that still changes, but it doesn't change to a point where, like, it's like a complete live before.
Yeah.
But these other ones, like Ubisoft, Microsoft, Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard, like, they've done stuff that was like, this is what it looks like, and people are like, oh, pumped up, and then they don't.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, they just don't. And it just gets bad. It's just really bad. And so it's just one of those things. It's just like, well, what are you gonna do? You know.
Yeah.
So always, honestly, with these big games, just wait for like the live, like, feed, the live stuff, and then make that decision. Then.
Well, the thing is, that's like buyer beware, but don't overhype yourself. For that.
No, you can still take the leap of faith if you want. That's fine, right? But always, like, honestly, if you get, like, these big companies, even like, I will even say it with Nintendo, even though I'm a fan of them and stuff, watch some of the live stuff closer to the release, because that's where you're going to make the decision on, you know? So there's that.
Do your research.
Yep, always do your research. Always keep thumbs in it. And it's okay to change your mind. Just because you're hyped about a game doesn't mean you have to remain hyped for a game that's garbage.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that's why, like, I don't count down to the days, and I don't, like, find as much footage of it as I can, because it's like, yeah, it's a completely different beast when you actually play it. That's kind of why, like, I just stayed really blind about Elden Ring until the day that it released, because even until the day it released, I was like, everybody said it was good. I was like, okay, I'll let myself be the judge. I didn't watch any of the gameplay videos. I didn't watch any of the hype trailers. So.
And way back when we reviewed and said that was one of our most hyped things on the E3 and stuff, you were super excited, and I kind of hoped that it was going to be as what you excited, and honestly, I'm glad that you got that.
Yeah.
You know, because there's been so many disappointments in the world. Like,
yeah.
I would love some of these games to just be blowout successes.
Yeah.
I would love some of the games that are just not even, like, mentioned too much. Nintendo has a bunch of them, like Ever Oasis, Codename Steam, Sushi Striker, even if I want to go extend it into an extent. These were great games. They should have deserved more success. I'm not saying completely blow out like Sushi Striker, even though I think Codename Steam should have actually did a lot better than Fire Emblem. I think just because Fire Emblem's marriage system made it far more popular than it really should. But for me, since we're gonna be a very extended episode here, the most immediate one I could probably say right now is, and I'm gonna hate myself after just saying what I said, it's probably just like Fire Emblem Engage. Honestly, like well, it's because there really isn't, like, unless there's some huge indie game that's just gonna pop out just out of nowhere, you know, or a fancy one. None of the ones I'm watching, none of the ones I have interest in are releasing anytime soon.
Oh, okay.
You know, so there isn't anything exciting. Now, I might be buying indie games up to that point. Like, there might be a couple games I'm like, okay, you know what? I've seen this again. I need to try this out, and it's actually fun. Like Lunistis. Like, I literally logged on to Twitter to punch in a couple of the boards that we have, and it was just all over. I was like, what is going on? And I will see a couple of videos like, this looks fun. Is this just game development? No, it's out right now. I'm like, you know what, Furry? You made a fun game. I'm gonna give it a go, and it's fun. It's actually it's not bad. I had an immense fun with it. It's small, it's short, and he's already making a second one. Yeah. So there we go. But yeah, it's out of these big games that are at least solidified of what's in the future, Fire Emblem Engage, because I don't don't see anything else until
Okay.
Advance Wars finally gets announced.
Yeah.
Until Shovel Knight 2 finally gets announced. Until we find a date for Rivals of Ether 2.
Okay.
Like, until we have these like actual dates, I genuinely cannot be excited for them because I don't know when they're gonna come out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Engage. I kind of hope that it's I really hope it's not like. I hope it's more like a Awakening without the marriage stuff.
Okay.
Like, I kind of hope that it's just more kind of like down to earth and stuff, without any weird stuff like the class nonsense in Three Houses. Like, I can appreciate
Speed up the micromanaging. That's all I ask.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I just want that. In fact, Fire Emblem Fates was actually pretty good outside the stupid 2 version nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, if it was all just one game,
Uh-huh.
that would have been better. I don't know why they tried to put Pokemon that nonsense. It wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
So those are some wonderful suggestions for everyone who has any type of money to blow after this holiday season. I wish you all a great Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And as always, we will see you
on the
other
other
side. Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
And Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.